Hello to all my followers. Well, it's a blustery cold day in Vermont for September. Maybe just letting us know what's in store for us in another month or two, right? Anyway, it definitely feels like fall, and I'm sitting outside of one of our hideaways, a very cozy space to spend a couple of nights in as part of our Kumari of the Woods retreat. Well, I wanted to speak today with you about my program that I offer for women who are overcoming loss in life. I haven't talked about this for a while, and I just want to say a few things because I was on a call with somebody recently and it just reminded me just how debilitating and devastating loss can feel in our lives, and not just feel, but show up in all parts of our lives. It just reminded me how valuable it is when you're ready to show up and do something about the grief that's crippling you. And this shows up in more ways than you might even imagine. You know, the grief can cause you to cry a lot, not want to get on with your day, not want to wake up in the mornings, not wanting to go to bed at night, not able to sleep through the night. It may cause you to eat more, eat less, stop calling your friends. Those kinds of obvious signs that something is really interfering with your daily function. But here's the other thing. When you're suffering with a loss that you're unable to overcome, to move on from, it shows up in so many other ways too. You could be in the grocery store and snap at the clerk at the checkout line, or just begin to have panic attacks when you go out in public. Or maybe you get really frustrated and get angry with some of your coworkers or other family members for no reason at all, except you're bottling up this grief and it's starting to emerge out of you in ways that it's not you. It's not you. It's not who you really are. And it's coming out and affecting other people that you probably care about in your life, including the people that you run into at the grocery store. You know, you're just unable to function in a way that you were used to functioning, you know. So what does that mean? Well, this program that I have for women, I'm actually thinking of developing a similar program for men, because loss certainly affects men as well as women. But here is what I've discovered, that if you can move through my program, there's 10 modules that address what you're struggling with. The very first one, you tell me your story of loss. You tell me your life story of loss. For some of my clients who engage in this program, there are multiple levels of loss in life. It may even start out in childhood. You know, your parents or one parent may not have been there for you. It could have been a loss of a sibling early on. Maybe your nuclear family got split up and some of your siblings went to live with one parent, you went to live with another, and you lost contact, you lost that relationship in your life that maybe was very valuable to you at one point. There are so many examples here. You know, loss of extended family members, loss of friends that you grow up with. Maybe you've had to move multiple times in your childhood. And then you get to adulthood and you've never really processed some of those losses in your life, and you get slammed with all kinds of other losses, you know, from the loss of a person that you truly loved in your life to maybe the loss of your job, or the loss of a pregnancy, is really debilitating. And, people don't stop and give you time to heal, or to process all of the different stages and the different levels of grief that we go through. So in my program, I really have you process these different levels of grief and where it gets you stuck in your life, where you can't feel like you're functioning and you can't begin to move on from it. We're not going to erase these losses in your life. It is about accepting them and knowing that your life is going to be different. And how is it going to look different? How do you want your life to look? The people that are not able to do this program are those people that are not willing to create change in their life. It's not for everyone. Sometimes I do find that individuals are not ready for change. They're not ready for that total acceptance of what loss means to them, and to be able to take those experiences of loss in their life and transform them into a new life ahead. I talk about this as chapters in our lives too, and depending what decade you're in your life, this can look different for everyone. The women I work with that are in their 70s and 80s, they still need a new chapter and a new fresh start in their life. And sometimes they feel like they don't deserve it. If they're 75, 85 years old, they may feel it's hopeless, but it's not. But you have to be ready to understand how that grief is interfering with you moving on in your life. So that's what my program is about. 10 modules. It does take women more than 10 weeks to get through it. So I'm moving the modules to giving women about 2 weeks for each module and not just a week. You have engagements with me. We have some one-on-one sessions. And I know that if you move through these steps, you will feel like you're ready to create that next chapter of your life, that next meaning and purpose that you want to show up for, with maybe new people in your life, but even the people that you've had in your life before, they will notice a shift in you, a shift in the way that you have struggled with this grief over time. Some of my clients have been in a state of grieving for decades. They've not been able to fully move on and participate in their life ahead. And I'm always amazed when they can move through each module and face what they need to face. There's a big piece of the work that's about forgiveness. I've talked about that before too. And once you overcome some of these huge challenges that are pretty scary to face all by yourself, once you're able to face them and once you're able to engage with me, then you're often ready to make that commitment to moving on. All right. Well, that's what I wanted to share with you today. I haven't talked about my program for a while. You can always contact me to get more information. You can always try the first module of engagement. And I'm happy to just jump on a phone call with you or a Zoom call. And for 30 minutes, we'll just talk about what it is that you're struggling with and if the program could even help you. Like I said, for some people, they're just not there yet. And I respect that. And I will be honest with you if I feel like that's your situation. All right. Well, you can see Sam and Charlotte running circles around this picnic table here. So we're going to continue our walk. Okay, Sam, Charlotte? All right. I hope you all have a beautiful weekend wherever you are.